Welcome. Today we are taking up the aspect of transition from the organization format of chapter 1 Arjun Vishad Yog of Srimad Bhagwad Geeta to chapter 2 the Sankhya Yog of Srimad Bhagwad Geeta. This transition is to be taken up from different aspects. From the one of the aspects is that we shall have the number of shlokas. Chapter 1 is having 47 shlokas and chapter 2 is having 72 shlokas, and the difference or the gap or the jump is of 25 shlokas. This value 25 is the value which has a straight link with the Sankhya Darshan. Sankhya Darshan is the darshan which is taking up the aspect of how to avoid dukh. And dukh is the formulation which is of TCV value 6, 3, 13, 2 and 1 means 25. This point, starting point, is of Arjun Vishad. Here we are having a Vishad, and this is of TC value 24. It is equal to the Purush. So Purusha is having value 24. So Purusha is inherently bound to have a Vishad during its existence. And this Vishad will lead to dukh. Therefore, this reach from 24 to 25 step ahead is inherent step. It is interconnected step. It is interrelated step that is bound to happen. When from Vishad, dukh is bound to happen for a Purusha, then naturally the darshan, the Sankhya darshan, takes up the aspect of how the dukh which is to occur be avoided, how to avoid, how to meet the situation of the dukh which is inherently there in the existence phenomenon of a Purusha, which has a reach from Vishad. So from Vishad, one is bound to be in the domain of a dukh. So how it is to be avoided? Then the Sankhya Darshan is a darshan which is taking up 25 tattva, 25 elements. These 25 elements format is the format which will be parallel with the TC value of a dukh. So the entire happening, the entire reach, entire manifestation of Vishad for a Purusha is to be fully matched. And the Vedic systems, the Vedic darshan, the Vedic philosophy, Indian philosophy, when takes up the aspect of a Sankhya darshan, it is meeting the entire phenomenon of the happening of a dukh for a Purusha. Therefore, the first aspect of transition from chapter 1 to chapter 2 is to be taken in the context of the range of the shlokas. Chapter 1 is of 47 shlokas range, while chapter 2 is of 72 shlokas range. The gap is of 25 shlokas range. So jump here, the gap here which need be bridged is of value 25, and it is this bridging which is done by a Sankhya Darshan by meeting the format of a dukkha. Here the aspect is that now Sankhya, which is having a gap of 25, so which takes us from Vishad onwards, so when it is connected, but now instead of a darshan, the second aspect is we have to now reach from darshan to a yoga. Darshan is the formulation which is of TC value 21, while yoga is the formulation which is of value 12. So we see 21 and 12 is a pair of values of opposite orientation, as the pair of digits of 21 and 12 swap their places. It is like a mirror image. Therefore, the second aspect is going to be that now we will be reversing the orientation. It is this reversal of the orientation which is meant for meeting the dukkha, that what is going to happen is to be met in time by reversing the orientation. How the reversal of the orientation is to be done is the second aspect of reaching at a transition from chapter 1 to a chapter 2. The third aspect of this transition is that from Sankhya we are reaching at yoga. Now Sankhya is the formulation which is of value 20, while yoga is the formulation which is of value 12. We know that when we have numbers values range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, and we reach at the factors 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1 and 3. If we count it, these become 20. Therefore, the values range 1 to 12 and the factors range 1 to 20. As such, the third aspect of transition, the third method of transition, the third view of the transition is that we shall be reaching from the factors to an integrated format, or in a reverse way, the integrated format and the factors formats are to be unified. Now see, when we'll reach a step ahead, chapter 3, which is going to be a Karma Yoga, and we know the Karma is of formulation of TC value 14, while Yoga is of TC value 12, and we know this is a interrelationship of reaching from domain to a dimension. So this transition with the reversal of the orientation would amount to that we will progressing, say, from here to this, say, a plus 1, and we will be reversing it. See, it will become minus 1. The difference value is 2. It is the value of difference between domain and a dimension. Therefore, ultimate reach at Sankhya Yoga is going to provide us with reversal of the orientation, having a reach from domain to a dimension. Now here we see that we will be having a pair of processing steps, means the nishtha. Nishtha is the established format. Now nishtha is of value 22, which is equal to 4, 5, 6 and 7, means hypercube 6. That means this reversal of the orientation is ultimately is going to lead us to the format of hypercube 6. And the Sankhya Nishtha will give us value 42 and the Yoga Nishtha will give us value 34. We can have a pause here and take note that value 42 as dimension is taking us to value 44 and value 34 as dimension is taking us to value 36. Beautiful, wonderful. See, the Lagd Rig Ved Jyotish Vedang is a scripture of 36 shlokas range, while Lagd Yajurved Jyotish Vedang is a scripture of 44 shlokas range. So, Sankhya Nishtha and the Yoga Nishtha as dimensional orders will create the domains which will be 36 and 44. We know that 44 is equal to a Paramviyom, the transcendental universe, transcendental space, Paramviyom. And 36 is equal to, it is Paranava. We know Paranava Sarvadeshu. Throughout the length and breadth and depth of the Vedas, Vedic domain is prevailing Paranava, and Richo Akshare Parame Viyoman, within the Richas of the Vedas is the transcendental space lively. So transcendental space is lively within the Richas, and the Paranava is pervading throughout the domain. And we know that Richa is a formulation which is of a TC value 8, which is equal to the difference value of 44 and 36. One shall have a pause here. One shall sit comfortably. One shall permit the transcending mind to be parallel with these organization format features of the organization progression of the text of Srimad Bhagwad Gita, punctuated 18 times as 18 distinct disciplines of yogas. Therefore, sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with the Vedic domain, Vedic systems, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences and Vedic technologies shall view each and every formulation as a transcendental formulation and reach at the transcendental formulation for its TCV values and the 10 manifestations of a TCV values, which we know as a word, then as syllables, as letters, as FTCV, then FFTCV, then TTTCV, then FTCV, then HTCV, then TRSTV, and STRTCV. These are the 10 manifestations of the TCV value. And we know that we are having reached from progression of first sutra, Ekadhiken Purven. It can go on infinitely. However, the next sutra says, Nikhlim Navasta Charmam Dashata, all from 9, and the last from 10. It is this feature of all from 9 and last from 10 takes us to that 1 to 9 are single digit numerals while 10 is a double digit numeral. This further tells us that if we are having a reach, say from minus n, 0, n and 2n, and then we are having a reach at minus n, minus 2n, minus 3n and minus 4n, the difference everywhere will be equal to minus 2n, means it will get unified. It is this unification which will take us to the Purusha Sukta, where the number of heads, number of the arms, number of legs and number of other organs will be equal, means the domain boundary ratio a raised to power n is to 2n p raised to power n minus 1 is residing back, is dissolving itself everywhere, may it be dimension, may it be boundary, may it be domain, or may it be origin. Everywhere there is equal number of the components. It is this structural unification which is at the base of the transition phenomenon from one chapter to another chapter. Here our focus has been only upon the transition from chapter 1 to chapter 2. However, when we will be proceeding further and when we will be dealing with the 18 disciplines of Arjun Vishad Yoga formulation leading us to TCL 55, Sankhya Yoga 32, then Karma Yoga 26, Gyan Karma Sannyas Yoga 75, then Karma Sannyas Yoga 54, Atam Sanyam Yoga 53, Gyan Vigyan Yoga 63, Akshar Brahma Yoga 53, Raj Vidya Rajguhi Yoga 57, Vibhuti Yoga 41, Vishwarup Darshan Yoga 67, Bhakti Yoga 30, Khetra Khetragya Vibhag Yoga 84, Guntriya Vibhag Yoga 57, Purushottam Yoga 61, Dev Asur Divya Vibhag Yoga 98, Shraddha Triya Vibhag Yoga 62, and the Moksha Sannyas Yoga 64, total leading to 1042. And 42 we know is equal to 19 plus 23, which is equal to Punarjanam, and Shahestra is equal to Anant is equal to 23 is equal to Janam. So Janam and Punarjanam, it is this birth-rebirth cyclic order which is the ultimate enlightenment path of the organization format of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One shall sit comfortably, one shall be through the text of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one shall be conscious about the organization format features of the text of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, its punctuation, the number of the vachas, the number of the shlokas, the pushpika syllables, and the difference between the shlokas ranges of first chapter and the subsequent chapter, the difference between the number of the vachas. All these aspects deserve to be comprehended well, as all these are preserving one or the other aspect of the organization format of the text of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much.